It's another adventure with hiddenincatours.com. Today we're not really looking at ancient megalithic structures, but we're in the Paracas Reserve, which is a national park in Peru on the coast at Paracas, and is 335,000 hectares in size, which I believe is more than 700,000 acres. 220,000 of those hectares are the actual marine environment, and the other 117,000 are land-based. It also boasts the largest assembly or collection of seabirds on the planet, and is an incredibly robust, one of the richest areas of ocean on Earth. And so that's why it's an excellent place for seafood. It is or was the home of the famous Paracas elongated skull people that many of you will have heard of, and is also where the candelabro is located, which is part of the Nazca geoglyph and line system. The Nazca geoglyphs and lines go all the way from Paracas down to Nazca, which is a distance of more than 100 and something miles. And this is where we call home. So the function of this video is simply to show you the beauty of an area that you may not have visited, such as this, which is called the Red Beach, because of the volcanic soil or material. This park is comprised of two different forms of activity in the ancient past. The ancient seafloor was raised up because it's right on the two tectonic plates of the Nazca Plate and the Pacific Plate, and then you have the volcanic activity. So when you look at the landscape, the lighter color, such as here, is the ancient seafloor that's been raised up, primarily limestone, and then the redder areas are the volcanic activity, and this is what we also see in the Nazca area itself, where the famous lines and geoglyphs are located. So you can see that the ocean itself is very pristine. This park was first formed as a national heritage thing in the 1970s, and is an absolutely beautiful environment. And here is where you see again the ocean floor, limestone that's been raised up. In some cases it's been raised up 100 or so more feet, but here it's about 10 feet above the surface, and then the red sand you see is the result of ancient volcanic activity. So a very austere environment. This area gets between 1/4 and 1/2 of inch of rain per year, and all of the present water, fresh water that's in the area, is actually traveling underground from the Andes. So that's the only reason why ancient cultures were able to establish themselves and even thrive, in the case of the Paracas, in such an inhospitable environment. The temperature, you would think, would go into the high 40s or 30s or 40s Celsius, or over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, but that's not the case. It's actually quite a benign environment. Fluctuates. Wintertime is somewhere around 18 degrees Celsius, and summertime maybe about 25. So if you ever get a chance and are in Peru, of course if you do come to Peru you'll be visiting Machu Picchu, but if you have time, I would definitely recommend that you visit the Paracas area. There are two great museums of the Paracas culture, and as I say, it's simply a beautiful environment to experience. Okay, we are in Pisco, Peru, which is south of Lima and a little bit north of Paracas. And we're going to be visiting an establishment where we will be able to observe a child mummy from the Paracas culture. So it's about 2,000 to 2,500 years old. I have not seen any photographs of this, so it will be a great surprise for all of us. It's been quite a while since I've made a new discovery, so this should be very interesting.
Es un bebé, ¿no?
Sí.
Wow.
Desde a ti, Jucala. O sea, yo no quería llevar ahí a su casa de usted porque yo sé que a Brian, lo hubiese querido grabar así como otra vez.
Pero llevaron allá.
Sí, pues.
So we're likely looking at about a 2-year-old. That is the traditional way that the Paracas people would arrange the body in a fetal position, and then also with the hands up covering the eyes like that. It's very typical of this ancient culture that lived on the coast of Peru between about 2,600 and 2,000 years ago. This is the culture that came before the Nazca. So you can tell by the shape of the head and the size of the head that this is not the result of cranial deformation or head binding. This young child was born with a very elongated skull. And it's likely from the cemetery called Chongos, which is where all the largest elongated skulls are found. Only about a 20-acre area. Absolutely incredible being. You can see the head is quite enormous for the size of the body. You can't see what the eye sockets look like because the hands are covering the eyes, and of course we're not going to try to move them. This is what people keep asking for. They want to see an actual... They're kind of tired of just seeing the skulls. So this is a great example of a young child with an enormous elongated head. Oh, a totally complete skeleton, mummy. Again, estimate of being between 2 and 4 years old. The skin is still intact, so we can't see the number of plates or sutures. But this to me very much looks like a natural Paracas child, and therefore the sagittal suture would be missing. So there you can see where the eye socket is. Absolutely exceptional. Young child, at least 2,000 years old. So it's not the standard shape of a Paracas elongated skull. It's not vertical elongation. It's more like what we think of when we see the children of Akhenaten in Egypt. Five fingers on each hand, 5 toes. So it's not a Nephilim or anything like that. It's a child of Peru. And there you can see where the ear opening is. The other one actually still has the full earlobe. Other side. So of course there are going to be people who say that this thing is fake, or that it's made up of different body parts from different mummies or something like that, and that's not true whatsoever. This is an authentic mummy of the Paracas culture of the coast of Peru. It's going to be put into the Juan Navarro Museum in a special case in Paracas, so you'll be able to come and visit it along with the 40 plus other elongated skulls of the Paracas culture that are there. And it's going in a special case all by her or himself. You don't understand how actually common it is to find things like this or beings like this in this part of Peru. So it is in no way, shape, or form a fabrication or a fake or anything of that nature. And of course, I'm going to be contacting friends in the US to see if they are interested in doing DNA testing of this. So look forward to news about that at some point in time.